Continuous glucose monitoring, or CGM, provides insight into high and low blood glucose levels. Some of the key elements to CGM include continuous glucose readings, which provide you with continuous visibility of your glucose levels, updated every 5 minutes, trend graphs, which reveal patterns over 3, 6, 12, and 24-hour periods, and alerts, which give you an early warning of oncoming low and high glucose levels. To insert the sensor, you need a sensor at room temperature, the senserter, and an adhesive to cover your sensor and MiniLink transmitter after insertion. Here are some hints for successful insertion. Wash your hands thoroughly. Avoid sites close to waistbands. Avoid bruises, bumps, lumps, scars, and tattoos. Alternate your insertion sites. Stand up when inserting. The senserter will insert the sensor at a 45-degree angle. Should you choose to manually insert it, pinch your skin firmly and insert the sensor at a 60-degree angle. First, place the sensor gently into the senserter. Next, gently press on the tape portion of the sensor to guide it back into the senserter until you hear a click. Remove the transparent adhesive film and then remove the needle guard. Place the senserter on your insertion site at a 45-degree angle and make sure the skin is pulled taut. To insert, gently press on the white button. To remove the senserter, gently slide it backwards with the feet still touching your skin. Gently withdraw the introducer needle at the same angle that you inserted it. Lastly, remove the white adhesive film and gently rub on the adhesive. Wait 5 to 15 minutes until the sensor is wet with interstitial fluid before you connect your MiniLink transmitter. First, remove the MiniLink from its charger. The green flashing light indicates that the MiniLink is charged and ready to be connected to the sensor. Next, connect the MiniLink to the sensor, making sure the sensor does not become dislodged. Once connected, the green light will flash again. This indicates that the MiniLink transmitter and sensor are ready. On your pump menu, scroll to Sensor, scroll to Link to Sensor, then press Act again. Next, scroll to New Sensor and press Act a third time. Your Paradigm VAO will inform you that your sensor will be ready after a 2-hour initialization period. After 2 hours, an alarm will remind you to enter your first fingerstick blood glucose, or BG, measurement. To clear the alarm, press Escape, then Act. If your Bayer contour link meter is linked to your Paradigm VAO, it will automatically send your BG fingerstick measurement. Just press Act to save the BG reading. To enter the BG value manually, scroll to Sensor, then press Act. Scroll to Enter BG, then press Act. enter your BG reading using the up and down arrows, then press Act. Here are a few calibration tips. Calibrate 2 to 4 times a day. Use the same BG meter for fingerstick testing. Calibrate when your blood glucose is stable. Calibrate before going to bed, so the calibration reminder does not wake you. You will encounter several different alarms when using continuous glucose monitoring. Please note that CGM glucose readings will be interrupted until alarms are addressed. Here are the key alarms. BG meter now. This indicates it is time to calibrate your paradigm VAO. Lost sensor. This occurs when the sensor is no longer communicating with the paradigm VAO. To reconnect it, scroll to Find Lost Sensor, then press Act. Your paradigm VAO will start recording your blood glucose levels again shortly. Make sure that your paradigm VAO is close to the MiniLink transmitter when doing this. Cal error. This indicates that there was a calibration error, probably because the capillary blood glucose from your fingerstick reading and the sensor are incompatible. To resolve this, recheck your blood glucose and enter a new reading. Change sensor. This occurs if 2 consecutive calibrations are unsuccessful, or if you have worn your sensor longer than indicated. Check the transmitter to make sure it's charged. To access your trend graphs, press the Escape button once. This will bring you to the 3-hour trend graph. To access the 6, 12, and 24-hour trend graphs, press the up arrow. If you would like to see individual sensor glucose readings while viewing a specific trend graph, press the down arrow. The paradigm VAO can alert you whenever your glucose levels fall outside your target range. To enable this functionality, scroll to Sensor and then press Act. Scroll to Edit Settings, then press Act again. Next, scroll to Glucose Alerts and press Act a third time. Finally, scroll to On and press Act again. Your paradigm VAO is now ready to sound alerts to help keep your glucose levels stable. To access your glucose limits, scroll to Sensor and press Act. Scroll to Edit Settings, then press Act again. Next, scroll to Glucose Limits and press Act once more. Use the up and down arrows to adjust your lower limit, then press Act. Now, use your up and down arrows to adjust your upper limit, then press Act. If you would like to add an additional glucose limit, enter the time as well as your lower and upper limits. Please note, your glucose limits should be different than your overall targeted glycemic control ranges to minimize unnecessary alerts. The glucose limit range can be programmed between 2.2 millimoles per litre and 22.2 millimoles per litre. Predictive alerts let you know how soon you can expect to reach either of your glucose limits. For example, if your glucose limits are set at 3.3 millimoles per litre to 13.3 millimoles, the predictive alerts will tell you when you are likely to reach one of these thresholds. To set your predictive alerts, scroll to Sensor, then press Act. Next, scroll to Edit Settings and press Act again. Scroll to Predictive Alerts and press Act once more. Highlight On, then press Act. You are now ready to set the predictive time period, also known as the time sensitivity, for your predictive alerts. All you need to do is set how early you would like to be warned before reaching your low and high limits. You can do this using the up and down arrow keys and pressing Act. The rate of change alerts tell you when your glucose levels are increasing or decreasing too quickly. Your predetermined rate will be a glucose value, either in milligram per deciliter or millimole per litre. Low glucose suspend is a safety feature that automatically stops basal insulin delivery for 2 hours when your glucose levels fall to a predetermined threshold. After 2 hours, the paradigm VAO will restart basal insulin delivery. Low glucose suspend is designed to help keep you safe if you are unable to react to the other alerts you have programmed, and is ideal if you have a fear of hypoglycemia or hypoglycemia unawareness. You are recommended to set your low glucose suspend at a glucose level that is lower than the other alerts that you have already set. For example, if you have already set your rate of change of alerts, predictive alerts, and glucose limits, it is recommended your low glucose suspend alert threshold value should be lower than these. Let's take a closer look at low glucose suspend in the following example. The patient featured in this graph is not responding to the low glucose alert as she is asleep. At 6 a.m., her glucose levels begin to fall below her target zone. This triggers the low glucose suspend, which stops basal insulin delivery for 2 hours as a safety precaution. At 8 a.m., the low glucose suspend resumes basal insulin delivery. Remember, should you be unable to respond to the low glucose suspend alert, or there is no one around to assist you, the paradigm VAO will suspend basal insulin delivery for 2 hours. Emit a very loud alarm. Display the words, "I have diabetes. Please call for emergency assistance." If you are able to respond to the alert, press Clear, then Act. Decide whether you need to suspend basal insulin delivery or resume. It is important that you verify this alert with a fingerstick blood glucose measurement before making any decisions and taking action. During the low glucose suspend alert, all other sensor functions and alerts remain operational. The Capture Event feature on your Paradigm Veo allows you to record the following information: BG measurements, amount of insulin used, amount of carbohydrates eaten, exercise. In total, you are able to view up to 10 captured events, with the most recent ones displayed at the top of the Capture History screen.